Hello Taurus, and welcome to my channel Green Line Goddess Tarot. My goodness, we are moving into November. We are in Scorpio season, moving into Sagittarius season, and we have a huge lunar eclipse occurring on the 8th or the 9th of November, depending on where you are in the world. And this is in your sign. It is a total lunar eclipse at 16 degrees of Taurus. And this is amazing. I got this sense it's going to be a huge energy. As you know, eclipses bring in change, unexpected change, activated change, the start of new cycles. And what I was getting for you was this image of you like just this huge activation and then stepping into this new portal for the future for you guys. And I was getting this quite literally like this beautiful, like you spinning around and this golden light kind of just spinning around you, activating this lovely energy. But yes, it does bring in change. So let's see what's coming through. It is a North Node eclipse, so it's wanting to kind of bring you, if you look at the bigger picture, it's looking to where your soul is. This gateway to the future is where your soul wants you to walk through this gateway into some new soul growth cycles. So what is your soul asking of you? How are you being asked to grow? So big things coming in, but we've got Six of Shells, sentiment and joy as the main energy. I love it coming through. Sentiment and joy. These two otters are just kind of, hanging around, swimming together, just really having a great time together. There's this beautiful energy that there could be someone around you, even if this is a memory from the past. There's a lovely sense of connection that's wanting to come through here. So, yeah, beautiful with this Six of Shells, sentiment and joy. That is the Six of Cups, the Six of Shells. It wants to bring in harmony within relationships, and it can bring you trips down memory lane. So intriguing, interesting. Okay, so, they're saying a lot changing. I was like, what's changing for Taurus? And look at all this stuff that came out. I'm like, I wanted to put them away, and they're going, no, you have to read all of these energies. I'm like, okay. So there's a lot coming out to be changed. One of the things that comes out is Sword 2, Venus, Libra. This is directions, decisions and directions. There's potentially a shift and change in direction, especially with a relationship with this Sword 2, Venus, Libra. But if there's something you've been hesitating around or not sure about making a decision, this is where the decision could potentially become clearer for you. It may just not necessarily be clear at first, but a direction is coming in for you here. We also have, Temperance, Sagittarius energy. That's been coming through a lot with the readings as well. I mean, we are moving into Sagittarius season, and there is a new moon in Sagittarius occurring on November the 24th, give or take a day, depending on where you are in the world. This is at 1 degree of Sagittarius. It's at the very start of the Sagittarius journey, so it could be off on the next big adventure or off on a new venture of some sort where you're kind of wanting to gain some kind of new knowledge and experience. So interesting. But the Temperance energy, Jupiter, Sagittarius, South Node, Pentacle Queen, Capricorn, Throne, is wanting to restore some sort of balance, some sort of new balance. And it's an alchemical shift and change to this sense of balance and security, internal sense of balance and security, and how are you nurturing that? So there may be some decisions around that, and the Pentacle Queen definitely wants to nurture a sense of stability in terms of, how you're feeling around, like emotionally, but also how you're feeling around the home, your living space, where you're working, what sort of money's coming in, how you're feeling with your health. So the Temperance energy next to the Pentacle Queen can be some really great energy in terms of bringing in making some decisions around stabilizing health. So that's something that's coming through with that. So a lot coming in terms of inner stability and balance, which is nice. We also have Cup 9, Moon Pisces, Wand 8, Jupiter, Sagittarius reversed, and Wand 7, Mars Leo reversed. Okay. So I feel like this is bringing something into a focus, quite literally. So it does, the Wand 8, a lot of Sagittarius energy, because Sagittarius, The wand eight is kind of feels like something wants to go in a gazillion different directions. Like it's super expansive, expanding here. But it's a question of like if it heads in all these different directions, are you getting yourself in a better position or not? Do you have to focus and channel some of the energy that's coming in, especially with with what's bringing you fulfillment, what is a fulfilling process. So I feel like it's like if you've got too many things happening at once or too many different directions happening, that's not necessarily going to be fulfilling. That's why I feel like something's really being brought into a single focus. So that's going to be really important to come through. And what that thing is, I do think it's related to the decision that's pending here, and definitely wanting to restore some sort of inner stability and balance, because, the eclipses do bring about change. They are going to destabilize things. They can bring in change. This can be both good and bad, and it just kind of it's like having a bit of the energy gets shaken up a little bit. So it's nice that the temperance energy is coming in and restoring balance after that, which is nice. So Taurus, I just wanted to let you know that this reading is for Taurus, Sun, Moon and Rising. I always recommend to watch all three of your placements if you know where they are, because it gives you the more holistic view of what's going on, the bigger picture of what's going on. And this is a general reading, Taurus. Just take what feels right and leave the rest. And if it does really resonate, there will be an extended reading. And the link for that will be in the description box below, as well as a link to any of my services if you're interested. So we have the High Priestess coming out. A lot is being revealed at this moment in time. There might be a certain person, especially like the High Priestess can be your number one, the person you love the most, or the person that you think about the most, or is the most important person in your life. This person and a relationship with that person could be like a focus this month coming in, crossed by the Nine of Swords, the Queen of Wands reversed. I might have a few cards up reverse, so if they're all going to turn reverse, which they are, I'm going to turn them around. If there's too many reversed, it just means a bad shuffle. It means I've put them in the wrong way. I might actually be holding them in. So the Fool, okay. The Ace of Cups, beautiful, coming through for you. The Ten of Cups, let's have a look. And as an outcome, the Six of Swords, lovely. And the Knight of Pentacles, that's the stability that we're looking for. And at the base, the Eight of Swords, I actually do want to keep this one reversed, though. It does feel right to have that reversed. So, interesting. Okay, so asking some similar questions that I got for Scorpio, because as you know, the eclipse seasons we are in Scorpio season moving to Sagittarius, which Scorpio is your opposite sign. So the eclipses that are occurring, like the new moon in Scorpio at the end of October, and your full moon, which is occurring, like we said, on the 8th or 9th, they're on that your Scorpio Taurus axes, which is earth and water. And I kind of you're probably going to be working through different themes, but just in different ways. And the Scorpio energy asks this same question, which is, where have you built a cage for yourself that you're wanting to free yourself from at this moment in time, especially to do with limitations. It could have been something that you've built inside your mind. Like it's to do with your own thoughts that could be coming through. So yeah, it's just wanting to break free of restrictions is a big thing that's coming through. And the moon does illuminate a lot of things that are occurring deep down under the surface. So we'll see what's coming in. We've got the High Priestess as the main situation. So this is, you've been dealing a lot with Pluto, because Pluto rules Scorpio. So we can see the black pillar and the white pillar. It's a sense that she's sitting between two spaces. She's sitting between you and Scorpio. If you imagine Scorpio is like deep psychology, the intangible, complex, and you guys are the earth, something tangible that you can see, and it's much simpler. It's like what you see, what you get. It's much easier in a way. And she's sitting right in the center here. It's like you kind of working with those two energies. and really in quite a liminal space in between worlds. And the black and white can also, the black pillar, the white pillar, reminds me a lot of Pluto that you'll be dealing with. We do have the death card, which represents Pluto as well. So Pluto is the planet of the underworld. It rules Scorpio. It's going to be working with you in all these eclipse energies. Pluto and Venus are coming in super strong because Venus is your ruler as well. And the Pluto energy shows you things in black and white. It's like it either is or it isn't. It's either true or it's not. It wants to show you a truth and says, okay, what are you going to do with that truth? Are you going to help use that truth to transform an aspect of your life, depending on what the truth was around? And then it's kind of like, here you are sitting in the middle going, I don't know. Is there a shade of grey in there? Why does it have to be so black and so white? Isn't there more to the picture, or isn't there a little bit more? Maybe we're kind of looking at this. Maybe there's a different way to perceive where you are with a situation, or where you are at in life, in your life in general. I feel like they're bigger questions, bigger picture questions that are being asked. So you might be getting some really, really strong intuitive messages when the High Priestess comes in, and a lot might be revealed to you, especially from that like shadow place, the underworld, and especially with how you're working with your self-worth, your resources, your money, all that sort of stuff. So it is crossed by the Nine of Swords. So, it's all this like, is it this, is it that? And so many questions and uncertainty. And then it's like, okay, there's just like too much going on inside my mind with the Nine of Swords, and a little bit of stress and anxiety around everything. Because it's like I don't necessarily want to be in this liminal space between, heaven and earth kind of energy. It feels like you're in an in-between space where, however, you can apply this to a relationship, or you can apply it to like any part of your life, really. There's no specific thing that's coming in, although big relationship energy coming through with this reading though. It's kind of like, where am I at with something? Because I feel like you're in a big transition phase, big change and transition that's coming through. So it may be with the Eight of Swords reverse that you can't see necessarily where this is all heading, but it is a sense that it's shifting and moving. It could definitely be to do with a relationship with that High Priestess, but because we've got the Nine of Pentacles, it could be, there's various things it could be around. But the Queen of Wands coming in your conscious mind, the Queen of Wands is very discerning. It's this inner question that is being asked, what is it that I want? What opportunities do I see in front of myself? And do I want them? It's very magnetic and warm. So you might be thinking about someone like with the High Priestess and the Queen of Wands, and it's not gender specific. It's just somebody that there's a lot of warmth between you and this person. Perhaps if it's a romantic thing or a partnership thing, you're finding them very attractive. But it is also just in you, in your asking, being very discerning about what you're attracting towards you at this moment in time, in terms of the opportunities and what it is that you want. And I can understand that, because it feels like it's a moving landscape. It feels like nothing has kind of landed yet, or it doesn't feel necessarily solid. But we have at the base the Nine of Pentacles. I like this. This is a good energy to come in. It's a lot of earth. So very grounded, feeling very grounded in the process. And the Nine of Pentacles is really lovely. It's connecting you to abundance, your own personal version of what abundance looks like to you in your life. That's what it's wanting to connect you to. So what does that look like? And it's a very independent energy. It's where you're kind of doing things on your own terms. So it could be looking at issues around financial self-sufficiency, financial freedom that's coming in. It could be a sense of, do you have... it could be looking at luxury, like is there enough extra money to spend on something that you really like that, brings in this abundance. So, the Nine of Pentacles is really nice. It kind of has, it's kind of looking for something that can, it feels like there's enough money to go around or enough resources to go around for what some of the things that you like to have in your world. So we have in the recent past the Death card. For those of you who are single, the Nine of Pentacles is just being happy in your own skin, being happy being single. I mean, perhaps you are looking for someone, you're on the lookout, and that in itself can be stressful or a bit of anxiety or overthinking. But there's also deep down this sense of grounding down into yourself. This is happening whether you're single or not within a relationship. So if you are within a relationship, it's kind of looking at the boundaries between independence and self-sufficiency and codependence, especially when it comes to money and resources. So in the recent past, we have the Death card. So this is the card of Scorpio. This has probably been activated in the Scorpio new moon, which occurred on the 25th of November. Give and take a day, depending on where you are in the world. That was an eclipse as well, partial solar eclipse. So I feel like the Scorpio train has started. This is the death energy, the big transition, births, deaths, endings, and transitions and transformations. So it precipitates a major ending, and then it's stepping you into the Phoenix rising transformation, the new coming up out of that. So it feels like that process has started, and the death energy takes its time. It really does. It's transforming something in your life, and that process has begun, which is why you're in this liminal state with the High Priestess, because you are in a transition state. You are actually being able to, and it's almost like it's hard when you're in that state to really make concrete decisions or changes because you're still in that big change and transformation. So it's almost like anything you start now might not necessarily be how it ends up. It might undergo a lot of changes in itself. So yeah, interesting. So in the near future, you've got the Five of Wands. This is potentially a struggle or a battle that's coming in. You could be struggling with this energy, that just kind of not knowing the unknown, or just feeling like you're still in this kind of big cycle that is you're still waiting for it to complete. But the Five of Wands can also mean where you're testing your metal, you're testing the market with something, you're potentially testing what you're made of, testing your skills, and you could be getting a little bit competitive, like maybe there's the spirit of competition coming in with the Five of Wands. So that's something that can come through. But I feel mostly, it could be connecting to ambitions, but I feel like those ambitions, it's the very start. It hasn't fully formed into what it wants to be yet. But it's like this sense of, at least I want to go out and try see how good I am at battling and see how good I am at this. But it's like these are all kids like fighting against each other in a way, going, yep, I've just picked up this wand and want to see if I can use it. But eventually they'll grow into their roles, grow into knights, or grow into whatever role, it's going to be. And it's sort of feels like something's at a very initial stage that is being tested, and it will grow into what it needs to be. It's still in this liminal stage, like we said, in between worlds, kind of in between places. But it still needs to go through this testing phase as kind of like an initiation energy to see how strong it is. So, whatever this is, like it could be a relationship could be tested here, or the direction in which you're going could be tested, which is whatever intuitive message you're getting here. The Queen of Wands can be very creative. So this could be, for those of you who are very creative and artistic in some way, this could be looking at ways to build, making careers or money, or doing things that can bring a lot of pleasure and prosperity through the arts. That's something that can come through for some of you. You're presenting as the Fool though, like you're ready for the new. It's like it can be frustrating because the Death card's still like going through its process of ending, and you're like, boom, press the reset button. I'm ready to jump into something new. I'm ready to hit the reset on it. Perhaps even take a leap of faith. But yeah, ready to start the new venture, ready to go off into the next big adventure, and not necessarily seeing it yet, although the Ace of Cups is around. So The Ace of Cups with the Death card as well and the Fool, there is new transformation and healing coming in for your heart, which is absolutely beautiful. New cycles of feeling very differently. Some emotions might be spilling over with this Ace of Cups, but it's the birth of healing amidst a little bit of chaos. But the birth of healing, love, joy, something beautiful is birthing in your world. So it just might not necessarily feel like it while this energy is kind of processing. But like I said, it's the very beginning. It's the start of the journey, and it kind of hasn't quite found sure footing yet, but it's there and you can feel it. So we have as your hopes and fears, the Ten of Cups. You want happiness. Like this is the card of happiness, long-term happiness. The Ace of Cups is the birth of something that could bring in this, which feels really lovely. So that's really nice. And then we have this sense of the Six of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. So the Six of Swords, again, is the card of transition, being able to move on from something. There's a little bit of turbulent water here that we're feeling here, but you're transitioning to something more stable here with the Knight of Pentacles, which is really great, finding the peace. So the Six of Swords represents travel, whether it's metaphorical travel of moving on from an old energy, or quite literally moving house, moving jobs, moving on from relationships, whatever it is, or just moving on from conflicts and drama in your life to a place where you're going to feel so much more comfortable with the Knight of Pentacles as possible, to be able to find this beautiful sense of things to slow down, calm down with the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is slow and steady, but it's reliable, trustworthy. Something that you can go, right, I've landed. I'm no longer in this kind of strange, weird in-between space. And it's the Knight of Pentacles is really nice because it's kind of saying I'm looking forward to my long-term future. Where am I going to see myself in 5, 10, 15 years' time? And it's feeling like, I can actually land somewhere where I can see that future and I can build upon it now, and it can feel like it's more solid. So it's a really, really nice energy with the Knight of Pentacles moving forward. And so, yes, we have the Eight of Swords reversed. And that's where I feel like this is very much like internal. It's an internal energy reversed of feeling really restricted because you're ready to move forward, but there's energies around you that are not resolved and don't seem like they've fully landed in a place yet. So feeling quite restricted there with that Eight of Swords. But they are saying you can pull the binds off. There are things that you can't see yet that are coming in the future, which we can explore in the extended reading. But the Eight of Swords is, yes, there are things that you can't necessarily see the picture yet. The picture's still forming, and that's frustrating, really frustrating. Yeah, it's interesting because if I turn it up this way, the Eight of Swords, you can see that the binds are pretty loose around the character. So it's like, where have you it's coming face to face with some of your own limited forms of thinking or limitations, or where you've built a cage for yourself inside your mind, but you've had the key all along because, it can easily get out of those binds. So they're saying you can get out of this restricted feeling and space by connecting in with this Death card and actually going, okay, look at the bigger picture. Step out of like the frustration of pushing against. You can't push against the Death card and make it go faster. It goes at the pace that it goes at. And it's a case of, okay, what is transforming in my life? And just to be able to sit with it. It can be uncomfortable, but sitting with discomfort, it's like, what is the deeper meaning of all of this? And then eventually you land somewhere which feels so much better and so much more solid. So yeah, I think that it's a big process, but you're going to be happy with where you land. We're just feeling a lot more comfortable. So lots of affirmations coming in for you, Taurus, lots of them. So the universe is kind of saying, yep, you're in for an interesting ride, but this is what it says. I'm in the process of positive change. I am unfolding in fulfilling ways. Only good can come to me. And that word unfolding is like, it's an unfolding vision. It's an unfolding story here. I am unfolding, and this could be you unfolding, quite literally. I am unfolding in fulfilling ways. Only good can come to me. I now express health, happiness, prosperity, and peace of mind. Beautiful. And I feel like that's kind of where you land with the Knight. It's potential to land there with the Knight of Pentacles. But, with the eclipses it kind of does make you... There's an opportunity to ask these bigger questions if you can go with that. The questions that are being asked with you, like challenging you to grow, then that's where you're going to find the potentials for positive change. This one says, I am open and receptive to new avenues of income. Fantastic. So it says, I now receive my good from expected and unexpected sources. It is eclipse energy. So that's where I kind of get this sense that, the picture's still forming. So even though you might have this idea of where you can be getting this income from, or these, increasing new avenues of income that could be coming through for you, be open to the unexpected. I am an unlimited being accepting from an unlimited source in an unlimited way. I'm blessed beyond my fondest dreams. Fantastic. So this is ultimately, this wants to kind of bring in something really good for you. It says, but you have to let go. It says, I'm willing to let go. It's like you need to kind of let go of something. You're being asked to let go of something to make space for the new growth cycle. I release others to experience whatever is meaningful to them, and I'm free to create that which is meaningful to me. Fantastic. We've got, I now go beyond other people's fears and limitations. That's that Eight of Swords. It is my mind that creates my experiences. I am unlimited in my own ability to create the good in my life. That word unlimited is coming in again. So really wanting to kind of open up to new possibilities and new horizons. And this says, my life is a mirror. The people in my life are really mirrors of me. This affords me the opportunity to grow and change. So now they're kind of doing what we were kind of talking about with the reflection, a lot to do with relationships, a lot to do with money and income and positive change that comes in with that. But here we see the mirror of the relationship coming in, where you can see where something's at with a relationship. And it may be that it feels like a relationship is in this like nether zone, like the high priestess we were talking about. And it possibly is just mirroring back to you where you are. But it may be something different. It's just a matter of like looking at some of the close relationships around you and what's being mirrored back to you. So, and how can you learn and grow from that? So let's pull a charm for you, Taurus, and see what's coming in. I feel like I thought there were two, but there's three. We've got love. Okay, the Cupid's arrow. Crazy, because the Ace of Cups is love, new love, ready to leap in. There could be a new relationship for some of you coming in. Okay, we've also got the Skull and Crossbones, which you're getting warnings about certain directions and paths. Don't go down that path. So that's something that would potentially might come in as well. You're going to get very clear messages. And we've got beautiful, the Moth. And I read that one as the Moth and the Butterfly. So it is about transformation. But the Moth energy is about moving up to the light, moving from the darkness, the shadow, up to the light, the higher octaves. And these can be fleeting moments of enlightenment that come through with this. So, wow, you might actually be getting a very strong message around someone that's around as like a love interest or someone, You might get a very definite no around a person for those of you who are single. But there's also love being birthed here. So there's a positive yes and a positive no that comes through. So, but you will know, it's kind of pretty clear. But I also feel like if there's someone that has broken your heart or something that has broken your heart in your life previously, there's something that's coming up here. There's something toxic perhaps that's come in around love that is being healed and transformed as well. So, I mean, there's just so much you can unpack and work with this energy. It's full. It's a full moon, but a lot's being illuminated, but it's just a lot in this energy. And ultimately, yes, it's saying to transform. And I do feel like it's transforming a lot to do with love and relationships for you, Taurus. But again, money, love and relationships, it's all in there together. And it could be how both of them are working together as well. So That's it, Taurus. I'm going to take it over to the extended reading now. We're going to see what's happening because we see in the near future a bit of a battle or a struggle. So we'll pull some more cards about what's going on there, but we'll also look at, it seems like you've moved on from the bulk of the drama and found yourself into a pretty stable place with that Knight of Pentacles. So now that you've got to landed in that place where it feels like, okay, I understand this place that I'm in at this moment in time, you're on stable footing. What are the next steps ahead? Where are you going from here? Is it going to remain stable? Are there going to be challenges? Are there going to people coming through, opportunities? Is it going to remain? Is there support coming? What sort of energy? Where is this going in the future beyond? So we're going to look a little bit into the future beyond. I feel like this is a much longer term energy though. Like we might be looking 5, 10, 15, 20 years ahead here with this energy, because it is like planting seeds for the new earth for you personally and collectively, for us as a planet. So I do feel like it's kind of got like the extended will look at the next steps, the next energy that's coming up. But I do feel like it's much this where you land is somewhere that is going to have consequences much further down your life. So anyway, we're going to look at all of that in the extended reading. We're also going to scratch under the surface, see if there's any other energies around that you need to know about, because with a lot of Pluto and Scorpio, there's usually stuff under the surface there. And we're going to ask the best way to work with the energy to make it an easier transition and to make it a kind of more productive transition to get the results that you want, to land in that space that you want to land in. So that's all in the extended reading. Love it if you come over, Taurus. The link is in the description box below, and I usually pin the link to the comments as well. And yeah, if you're interested in any of my services, the link for that is in the description box below. So please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. Love to read your comments, and take care, Taurus.